the oldest Christian communities in the world. And the truth is, most of the Arabs there, most of the Muslims there, even people that had come in later as Arabs, they were secretly practicing Christians and had been crypto-Christians, as it's called, forever. And that's why Saudi Arabia continues to invade them. They've invaded them 3 times in the last century. Saudi Arabia has. And they just start killing everybody and bringing in their new settlers because they know full well that that's why Assad goes to the Christian masses. It's why he goes in Easter and Christmas to the churches, because let me give you a little news flash. They're Christians, folks. They're Christians. They're Christians. And they've kept it under occupation off and on for hundreds of years under the table. Just like the Russian church was never completely extinguished. So I'm going to stop right there because I need to get into Jakari's reports. They're very powerful and more. They're up on Infowars.com in full. Briefly, talking about taking action, Adon Salazar wrote an article last week, top trending question on Google for a week. Is Hillary Clinton going to jail? And then we go through the fact that on CNN and everywhere else, Fox, people are standing up with Hillary for Prison shirts. It has had a really, really, really massive effect. So I want to commend everybody. In fact, we found another article that's similar to it. This is from Breitbart. We can actually put our InfoWars version of that up. Top trending question on Google, is Hillary Clinton going to jail? I want to put the Infowars.com version of that because it's a larger article and actually shows screenshots for TV viewers and videos of people all over national TV getting in the shot with the Hillary for Prison shirt. Folks hacking highway signs all over the country, not just in Texas now, putting Hillary for Prison up on them. I don't really condone that, but, I mean, whatever. She is a dictator, or would-be dictator. By the way, former Secret Service agents come out and said she's a dictator. Yeah, there's our version. Let's scroll down, and then you can see screenshots of it. You can see the trend over the last few years, how it's now one of the top trends. And then you can scroll down and see how Donald Trump's now picking it up. And then below that, we have the highway signs getting taken over, people on CNN, all of that. It's very, very powerful. That second-generation shirt sold out. Version 3 arrived today, this morning, on an 18-wheeler. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's the best version yet. It's just a good, clean Hillary for Prison 2016. Looks like the election shirt, like the last 2 versions. But on the right-hand shoulder, it says Infowars.com, very handsomely in red. And on the back, it says Hillary for Prison. On the back, it says Legalize Freedom, Infowars.com. So I think it's the most handsome shirt we ever put out, and it absolutely rattles them, shakes them up. You'll meet like-minded people. And, again, it just sold out a day ago. We have the new version in. If you want it, InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. This is about solidarity. It's about meeting like-minded people. It's about really seeing the power of the InfoWar. And by the way, I love the fact that there are literally hundreds of sites now selling their own versions. Copies of ours, variants, I don't care. Great, wonderful. Buy it somewhere else. Just whatever you do, ladies and gentlemen, get an InfoWars shirt, get a Molon Labe shirt at InfoWarsStore.com, spread the word, go out in public, practice the First Amendment or lose it. Separately, Deep Cleanse, that is just a whole spectrum of compounds that are known to absolutely pull toxins out of the body. You can read about the science, see the informational videos and more at InfoWarsLife.com, where we have our nutraceuticals. But this has it all. And it just goes in with the zeolites, with the Shilajit. The Shilajit is basically herb oil from hundreds of thousands of years. They say millions, but who knows the real Earth age. From Russia, from the Himalayas. We have both sources, totally organic, that just comes out of the rocks in the summer. That is so ancient. It's just thousands of different species of plants. They're ancient oils, and this is what was discovered back in the 50s they thought the Russians were on steroids in the Olympics. They kept testing them and couldn't find it, and then it turned out it was Shilajit. And the Shilajit alone is just, no one knows why it's so amazing. This is true Russian, or depending on which batch it is, we have to go both places, Himalayan. It's the same thing as Himalayas. Shilajit, it's in deep cleanses. It's one of the key ingredients in there, and it's amazing. That's 20% off. That ends tonight. InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll-free 888-253-3139, or call toll-free. Also, you can go to InfoWarsHealth.com. That's all the great longevity products. When you buy the products there, you get big discounts, and the profit we make from that also helps fund this operation. It's InfoWarsLife.com to get our nutraceuticals, InfoWarsHealth.com to get the great full-spectrum discounted longevity products. Now, continuing here, let me get to this news. These videos and articles are up on InfoWars.com. They really are a huge deal because we know Obama's been shipping people in from all over the world and advertising to come here for many years and ordering the Border Patrol to stand down. It started with them ordering the Border Patrol not to pursue people or to go and pick up trash instead of, grabbing illegals or drug smugglers. And now it's just moved, confirmed the last 3 years, that we broke because the Border Patrol contacted us. And I'm not bragging about that. It's very sad that we broke it. That in places like McAllen, Texas, they order them to stand down, to load them on buses, and then the feds are ordered to give them money, vouchers to go anywhere they want in the country. They're not checked for diseases, none of it. And I was thinking about this morning, while I was in the shower, I was just thinking, how do I come up with words? I'm going to skip this network break. How do I come up with words strong enough to describe the over-the-topness of this? I fly in from Isla Mujeres via Cancun, from fishing with my family and snorkeling Saturday, and they give me, not the third degree, but we all get interrogated. And I'm looking at the guy, and he sees on the screen I have no criminal record, and I go, I'm just looking at him like, okay, yeah. But see, I'm a milk cow. I'm a slave. I got to be kept in line. They want to attract new slaves to the flypaper. The slaves come in, the slaves don't go out. And so it's like, everything's free, come here, it's wonderful. Diddle-a-dee, an actor's life for me, like in Pinocchio. Come on the slave ship, it's fun. Yeah, you're going to be a jackass too. Here, take a Gardasil shot. You'll never have a child again, sweetheart. None of this shot works properly. Enjoy all the uterine problems and ovary meltdowns you're going to have, the ovarian cyst. We love you. La Raza's not going to warn you. It works for somebody special. Who's running the operation down there right now to make sure you end up in a mass grave? Oh, I'm sorry. The government loves us. I'm sorry. That is, people running our government do not love us. Our low-level government's very good. And so I was sitting there trying to come up with words this morning to 22% of the people that the government's vetting and bringing in to Minnesota alone, Associated Press, have TB, and most of it's drug-resistant or drug-immune and is killing people. And it was on the news today that they are in all these states complaining that people are getting sick because they're sticking these kids in elementary, middle school, and high school. I mean, think about a federal government. It'd be one thing if they grabbed folks, tested them, held them in some center, and then just let them go. That'd be illegal, and the Supreme Court's ruled it's illegal. But it'd still be kind of, okay, whatever. They don't even allow the Border Patrol to hold them or check them. They just give them a voucher, in some cases worth $1,000, for food at Greyhound facilities and Greyhound buses. That's just one of the vouchers they give. And in some cases, it's private bus lines. They have contractors in big, beautiful buses, nicer than the bus I get when I go around with my crew. I mean, these are like $1.5 million buses. I'm driving around on a $150,000 bus. I'm not complaining. But, I mean, it's just like, wow. I mean, just Rolls-Royce level quality. And they're coming in, and they look completely happy. They're like, wow, thank you. You're so nice to me. I mean, I don't dislike these people, these desperate people. I have humanity, but my humanity is being manipulated. If you had humanity for these women and these children and these men, you would test them for the hundreds of parasites, for the drug-resistant TB, and for all the other stuff, the whooping cough, the polio. That's bad in Latin America, folks. That's really bad down there. And suddenly, you can type into the news, CDC admits diseases once that didn't exist in the United States are now back, like polio. And their answer is, take the polio vaccine, which no one had to take anymore because it was gone, supposedly. And then the polio vaccine's dangerous. I mean, I'm just going, man, these people are really out to get us. I mean, the globalists run America. Obama's the boss. It's his house, supposedly. But the elites that run this country want to bring it down. They really want to destroy it. And I've always known that's their aim. My first film was America Destroyed by Design, 1997. 18 years ago. 1997. Almost 19 years ago. Shot some of it in 2000, some of it in 1996. But the point is, it's 17 to 18 years old. And I say there is a plan to destroy our republic and free market by design. Here's their plan to bankrupt us, third world populations, cutting off our resources, cutting off our factories, cutting off our coal. And people go, yeah, I see this film on YouTube. And they go, how did this young Alex Jones at 24 years old know all this? I didn't know it. The UN and the globalists write the white papers that UNESCO puts out as policy versus their PR. But they got a battle plan. It'd be like if, some guy was planning to rob a bank and he had a plan to do it and it fell out of his pocket and I found it. And then I brought it to the police and they said, well, okay, we have the date they're going to rob it. We're going to stake it out. And then sure enough, he pulls up with his people in a van to rob it. I mean, we have the battle plan. We have the codes. It's like knowing the Japanese are going to attack a year before and doing nothing, in World War II or whatever. They just do a week before and did nothing. I mean, this isn't my opinion. But still, I get why the population couldn't believe it. That you mean they ship them in and give them money? Well, yeah, then they advertise, come here. That's why the numbers are getting so big. Just like they advertise in Europe, come here, Arab Spring, come here. There are, the EU allowed ads to be put out saying, we have blonde women for you and free money. This is the plan, folks. And it's so crazy. And in Europe, they don't test for disease. So let's go to this first Sha'Carri Jackson report. But just think about this. The Border Patrol is now talking to our reporters, and they've been on congressional reviews where they get indicted, they get fired, they get reprimanded. It runs the gamut for speaking out. Why did the Border Patrol talk to us? They usually blur their faces out. We usually do it sitting there at their headquarters or in their truck, talking to them off record and scrambling their voice, and they trust us. They know that we come, edit it, scramble their voice, and destroy the files. Now, the Border Patrol is just like, yeah, we'll talk to you. Sure, yes. We're ordered to ship people in with diseases. I'm going to play just a short clip of this and come back with all of it. But this is Border Patrol agent. Vast majority are released in the country, disease or no disease. And the real headline is, Border Patrol ordered by Obama to let people in that have diseases. Here it is.
Sha'Carri Jackson here in McAllen, Texas. We ran into Chris Cabrera. He is the vice president of the local Border Patrol union. Now, Chris, recently we saw the Supreme Court that struck down Obama's immigration policy. Do you think that's going to affect what you guys see out here on the border?
Yeah, I actually do. Just by the initial ruling, it affected people coming out here. More people thought that they had to be here by a certain date. Nobody really knew what that date was. It was more of a phantom date. And now that it got struck down, people don't know what's going to happen if Donald Trump wins, if Hillary wins, or whoever takes office. So more people are starting to come and surge in even more so just because they need to beat some phantom deadline.
Mm-hmm. And then speaking of Trump there, does the Border Patrol have any particular view of the wall, for it, against it, indifferent?
The wall, as far as a Border Patrol aspect, it's a tool. It's something you can use. Granted, it's not a be-all, end-all stopgap measure, but it is something that can slow people down or funnel them into a certain direction. However, if you just have a wall with no manpower on that wall, no electronic surveillance,